I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we explore the transformative journey of Faith Vigil in her amazing book. It is called My Walk of Faith. This inspiring memoir delves into Faith's life, marked by personal beliefs and experiences that shaped her resilience. Despite a traumatic past, she shares how she found strength and purpose, hoping to inspire and help others on their own paths to healing as well. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. And we'd like to thank the team at Books to Life Marketing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Faith, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Great to be here. Nice to be with you.
This is a terrific story of a life that has been redeemed, has been changed, has been transformed. What made you decide to share your story?
Well, the fact that so many people go through the same thing, they're just afraid to talk about it. And so if the hardest part is bringing it up, then I was going to be one of the first ones.
What was the pivot for you? Were you able to turn things around?
There were a lot of turning points. There was more than just one where things were turned in my favor. I'd have to say getting better, um, having the strength to be able to write my book after being sick, and hospitalized. That was definitely a blessing. And then one of my most recent ones was moving into my house.
Hmm. Yeah. And tell us a little bit about falling ill and getting on the path to healing.
Well, I had been in Colorado Springs. I had just bought my own house, and I had just finished college, and I had started experiencing some symptoms that I had never had before.
Hmm.
And it took me over 2 years to be diagnosed, and it ended up being myasthenia gravis. And I got so bad that I could barely stand on my own. I ended up having to move back home. I couldn't eat or bathe myself. My parents had to do that for me.
God. And what was the road to recovery like for that illness?
Medications, being on prednisone, exercising, lifestyle changes, learning to gauge my energy so that when I'm wearing down, I know not to overdo it.
Yeah. So it was a matter of basically reclaiming your body, getting your health in tip-top shape, your immune system in tip-top shape, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about faith. How did faith play a role in helping you overcome your past traumas?
Because that's not the destination point. It's always having faith that you're going to something better, and trusting the process that gets you there. That's what's the most difficult part I find for us is trusting the process. So that's something I've really learned to work on and kind of let go to things that I cannot control and focus on things I can.
Exactly. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, change the things I cannot accept, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yeah. That's one of my favorite prayers, and it's so true in life. You have to realize what's within your control and what's not, and focus on the things within your control. What are you hoping
Yes.
readers take away from your story of faith and recovery?
Uh, their own perspective. I hope that it makes them ask themselves questions and expand, want to know more. Because it really began wanting to know my own capabilities. Can I get better? Am I the reason that I caused my own illness? It made me ask questions about the world around myself and
Mm,
search for answers.
yeah. What were some of the most challenges parts, or challenging parts rather, of writing this book?
The darkest parts, which even now I find difficult. It was my first book. I have a second book, and I'm also working on a 4-book series right now. And so the most challenging part was seeing the people, my family reading it.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, you're putting yourself out there to help others, and that's tough to do at times. Tough to do, period, actually, not just at times. But you found a way out, you found healing, you found faith, and so hopefully your journey helps others. Let's talk about some of the other books that you're writing. What's the second book you're writing? It's a follow-up?
Yes, it is. It's called A Dark Night of the Soul. Uh, it's also available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and anywhere books are sold. And it explains my beliefs. This one tells my beliefs. The other one tells how I practice my beliefs, the changes that I actually enacted in my life, and the knowledge that I gained from it.
Talk about some of your beliefs. What are your beliefs?
Well, one of them is that we're all God's children. That we're capable. Two is that we're capable of much more than we're doing, which is kind of just bickering and not really doing much to help pull the person next to us ahead. So I'm trying to start a change, trying to be more positive and just extend that hand out of knowledge rather than criticism.
Yeah. Was there anything you discovered about yourself when writing this book? I guess it was a little therapeutic, I would assume, just putting it all down there on paper and being able to re-examine things once again.
I hadn't realized how traumatic it had been until I actually put it all together and read it. And then, once someone does that, I mean, isn't it kind of hard not to feel like a superhero? You overcame all of that,
Yeah,
and so I just want people to look on that side of it.
exactly. Yeah. That's how I look at it. It's a book about transformation. It's a book about redemption. It's a book about, being your best self.
Mhm.
And I think that's important. How do you continue to practice and nurture your faith in everyday life?
By being good to my body, by being good to my temple, and striving to be a good influence, even though that's not always how I'm perceived. So I'm learning to try to more focus on, ways I can be better perceived, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's give the folks at home an overview of the book. What will they find when they crack open the covers?
Well, at first it starts explaining how I question my beliefs, and then it gives a few experiences to where I had like conversations with God, and I tested him, and then there were things that I knew, and it just very detailed, it's very detailed about my life and the way I came to be so strongly rooted in my beliefs, and how it details all the different religions I've studied, all the different people in the past who have done the same thing, and people who have the same um, points of view as me. Not necessarily the exact same beliefs, but the same type of points of view.
Hmm.
It's not something new that I'm saying. It's been said before, and so I'm just kind of agreeing.
Yeah. What's your best advice to someone who feels kind of stuck, um, hurt by their past traumas, overwhelmed by life, and feeling kind of lost?
That look for the silver lining. Even though we're broken and feeling hurt and in pain, there's always that silver lining, and it's going to be really difficult to see the more chaotic things are around you, but there's always a blessing in there. I mean, we're not going through all of this without some sort of, and this reward.
Mm,
It's up to us to seek and define those rewards, such as,
mm,
uh, you know, this was a little reward for a long time.
yeah,
This was a trophy for me.
yeah,
And now I have a few more.
yeah. So you talked about your first book, your second book. Tell us about some of your other books that you're working on.
Well, since people are still a little bit confused as to my beliefs, I'm doing a fictional 4-book series, which might anywhere end up between 8 and 12 books.
Mhm.
That's going to detail and have experiences, and it's going to be pretty inspiring and imaginative. And it's going to explain my beliefs. It's going to be exciting. I'm really excited.
Wonderful. Well, that sounds great. Now, you said you studied world religions when you were making changes in your life. Was there a religion you settled upon, or did you take a little bit from here, a little bit from there to create your own belief system?
Well, I was baptized Catholic
Hmm.
by choice when I turned 18.
Hmm.
And that was one of the first religions that I had studied. And so I didn't really start questioning everything until after maybe about 21 when I really got sick. That's when I really started questioning my beliefs because I mean, that's kind of the best time, you know? Um, so upon that, probably I did Harvard online and they have these cool edX free programs. And that's when I studied all the religions that they had out there.
Yeah. And so did you settle upon one, or did you just kind of like take a little bit from here, take a little bit from there?
I took a little bit from everything. Take what you can use and toss the rest.
Exactly. Great advice. Great advice. The name of the book is My Walk of Faith. It is an inspiring memoir that delves into the author's life, marked by personal beliefs and experiences that have shaped her resilience despite a traumatic past. She shares how she found strength and purpose and hopes to inspire others and help others on their own paths to healing. Faith, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your time. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.